In a small, quiet village where the roads were made of dirt and every day looked much like the last, lived a young boy named Rohan. He was a teenager with a heart full of hope. His family did not have much money. His father was a carpenter, a good man who worked with his hands from sunrise to sunset. He used strong wood to build tables and chairs, but their small home was always just simple. Rohan saw how hard his father worked. He wanted to do something special, something big, to help his family and see a proud smile on his father's face. This desire was not just a small wish. It was a fire growing inside him every single day. Rohan's big dream was to become a runner. He didn't just want to run in the fields for fun, he wanted to be the best. He dreamed of joining the district sports academy, a place where champions were made. If he could get in, he would receive training, support, and a chance to build a better life for his parents. He imagined himself on a real running track, wearing proper shoes instead of his old, worn-out sandals. He pictured winning a medal, holding it up high, and showing everyone in his village that a boy from a poor family could achieve something great. This dream was his North Star, guiding his every thought and action. Every morning, before the sun even thought about rising, Rohan was already awake. While the rest of the village slept peacefully, he would quietly slip out of his house. The cool morning air would greet him as he started his daily run. He ran on the uneven dirt paths that circled the village, his feet pounding a steady rhythm against the earth. He didn't have a coach or a fancy training plan. His only guide was the burning desire in his heart and the picture of a brighter future for his family that he held so clearly in his mind. He pushed himself harder and harder, believing that every step was a step closer to his dream. This was Rohan's routine, his promise to himself. The village was his training ground, and the rising sun was his witness. He ran past the fields where farmers would soon work, past the river where the water flowed gently, and past the quiet homes of his neighbors. He felt a connection to his land, and he believed it gave him strength. His dream was not just for himself, it was for his father, his mother, and his entire village. He wanted to prove that with enough heart and hard work, even the biggest dreams, born in the smallest of places, could one day become real. For 2 long years, Rohan followed his strict routine with unwavering discipline. He ran every single day, whether it was hot and dusty or cool and damp. He entered every local race he could find, his heart pounding with hope each time he stood at the starting line. He would run as fast as his legs could carry him, pushing through the burning in his lungs and the ache in his muscles. He gave every race his absolute all, leaving nothing behind. He believed that this time, this race, would be the one where his hard work finally paid off, and he would cross the finish line first. But victory never came. Race after race, he watched other boys speed past him. He would see their backs getting smaller and smaller as they pulled ahead. The disappointment was a heavy weight that settled in his chest. For 2 whole years, he never once stood on the winner's podium. He never felt the pride of a first-place finish. The villagers would pat his shoulder and say, "Good try, Rohan," but their words felt empty. He started to hear whispers, quiet doubts from others who wondered why he kept trying when he always lost. The constant losing started to chip away at his confidence. Despite the repeated failures, Rohan refused to give up. His father's tired face at the end of each day was a powerful reminder of why he started. So, he kept going. He would finish a race, feel the sting of defeat, and the very next morning, he would be back on the dirt path, running again. His consistency was a strange sight for some. They saw a boy who was chasing a dream that seemed impossible, a boy who didn't know when to quit. But for Rohan, quitting was not an option. He believed that his efforts had to count for something, even if he couldn't see the results yet. The string of losses was like a long, dark tunnel with no light at the end. Each defeat was another blow to his spirit, making it harder to get up and try again. He felt like he was running in place, putting in all the effort but going nowhere. He started to wonder if he was just not good enough. Maybe his dream was too big. Maybe he was foolish to think he could compete with boys who were naturally faster or had better training. The doubt was a quiet poison, and it was beginning to spread through his hopeful heart, making his dream feel further away than ever before. One morning, the sky was dark with heavy clouds, and a cold rain began to fall. The dirt path turned into slippery mud, making each step a struggle. Rohan was running his usual route, but his heart was as heavy as the clouds above. Frustration and sadness finally overwhelmed him. He slipped in the mud, falling to his knees. The fall didn't hurt his body as much as it hurt his spirit. He stayed there, on the muddy ground, with rain mixing with the silent tears running down his face. He felt completely and utterly defeated. All his effort, all his running, seemed to be for nothing. As he knelt there, lost in his despair, an old farmer walking to his field saw him. The farmer had watched Rohan run every morning for years. He had a kind face, full of wrinkles that told stories of a long life. He walked over slowly and stood beside the crying boy. He didn't offer empty words of encouragement. Instead, he looked at Rohan and began to tell him a story. "Do you know about the Chinese bamboo tree?" the old farmer asked in a gentle voice. Rohan, confused, just shook his head, wiping the rain and tears from his eyes. The farmer explained that when you plant the seed of a bamboo tree, you water it and care for it every single day. For the first year, nothing happens. For the second year, you see no growth above the ground. The third and fourth years are the same. You pour all your effort into nurturing something you cannot even see. It takes incredible patience. Many people would give up, thinking the seed is dead or that their work is wasted. They don't realize that something amazing is happening secretly, deep beneath the soil where no one can see it. For 4 long years, the farmer continued, his voice calm and steady. The bamboo tree grows its roots. It builds a strong and deep foundation. It is preparing itself. Then, in the 5th year, something magical happens. The bamboo tree shoots up from the ground, growing up to 90 feet tall in just 6 weeks. The farmer looked Rohan directly in the eyes. "For 2 years, you have been growing your roots, Rohan. You have been building your foundation. The growth is there, even if you cannot see it. Do not give up just before you are ready to rise." The old farmer's words were like a spark in the darkness of Rohan's mind. The story of the bamboo tree changed everything. He suddenly understood that his 2 years of losing were not years of failure. They were years of preparation. He was not just running in circles. He was building his strength, his endurance, and his spirit. He was growing roots. He stood up from the muddy ground. A new fire lit within him. The rain no longer felt cold. It felt like a cleansing, washing away his doubt and despair. He thanked the farmer with a look of deep gratitude and ran home, his steps feeling lighter and more purposeful than ever before. From that day on, Rohan's training took on a new meaning. He was no longer just chasing a victory. He was nurturing his roots. He woke up even earlier. He ran further. He pushed himself not with desperation, but with patience and trust in the process. He started paying more attention to the small details. He noticed how his breathing became steadier on long runs. He felt a new power in his legs when he ran up hills. He was not winning races yet, but he could feel the changes happening within him. He was getting stronger, step by step. The invisible progress started to become visible. In the next few local races, he was no longer finishing at the back of the pack. He started to finish in the middle, and then he started to overtake some of the runners who had always been faster than him. He still wasn't winning, but he was getting closer. The other boys started to notice his improvement. The whispers of doubt turned into murmurs of surprise. Rohan didn't let this small success make him proud. He simply saw it as proof that the farmer was right. His roots were strong, and his time to grow was coming. He focused all his energy on preparing for the big district race, the one that offered a place in the sports academy. This was the race that mattered most. He trained with the image of the bamboo tree in his mind. Every hard run was like watering the seed. Every painful sprint was like strengthening the roots. He knew that success wasn't about one magical day. It was about the sum of all the small, consistent efforts he made every single morning. He was ready to show everyone not just how fast he could run, but how strong his foundation truly was. The day of the district race arrived. The air was buzzing with excitement. Runners from all over the district were there, all of them looking fast and confident. Rohan stood at the starting line, his heart calm and steady. He was not the scared, hopeful boy he used to be. He was a focused athlete. He looked at the long track ahead of him and remembered the muddy path in his village. He thought of the farmer's words and the bamboo tree. He knew that this race would be won not just by his legs, but by the strength he had built over 2 long years of unseen effort. When the starting pistol fired, the runners shot forward in a burst of energy. Rohan did not try to take the lead immediately. He settled into a strong, steady pace, just as he had practiced hundreds of times. He let the others burn their energy early. He focused on his own breathing, his own rhythm, trusting his training. As the race went on, he saw some of the front runners begin to slow down. Their initial burst of speed was fading. This was the moment he had prepared for. This was when his deep roots would make all the difference. With quiet determination, Rohan began to move up. He passed one runner, then another. His pace was consistent, his form was strong, and his lungs did not burn with the same fire they used to. He felt a deep well of energy inside him, the stored power from all those lonely morning runs. In the final lap, only one runner was ahead of him. With a final, powerful push, Rohan dug deep and sprinted. He pulled alongside the leader, and in the last few meters, he surged ahead, crossing the finish line first. The crowd erupted in cheers. He had done it. He had won. A few days later, with the letter of acceptance from the sports academy in his hand, Rohan went back to the fields to find the old farmer. He wanted to thank the man who had given him hope when he had none. He found the farmer tending to his crops. "Thank you," Rohan said, his voice filled with emotion. "Your story changed my life." The wise farmer smiled and put a hand on Rohan's shoulder. "The story did not make you run faster, my boy," he said gently. "It only helped you see the strength that you were already building. It was your consistency, your patience, and your own unbreakable spirit that won the race. The power was always within you." Rohan finally understood. Great achievements are not born from a single moment of brilliance, but from the quiet, steady effort we put in day after day, even when no one is watching. Not seeing results right away does not mean you are failing. It means you are growing your roots.